Hi, Joey. How are you?
Hey everyone, I'm doing good. How are you?
We're so happy to have you here. Again, we know how busy you are. I can just imagine how many AMAs you have scheduled for this week alone. So thank you so much for coming out and talking to us.
It's all right. It's my
Thank
pleasure
you,
to be
Joey.
here.
Now, can you share like just a little bit about yourself? Um, what are you doing in Cubetopia? How you started here and all that exciting jazz?
So, similar to Andrew, I started in Web 2. I was working as a software engineer in a Web 2 company, and I kind of got sick of it. I wanted to move into Web 3 because I saw the opportunity to kind of build something from the ground up, which could be big. I felt like in Web 2, almost the ship had sailed. We already had Facebook, we already had Minecraft, we already had YouTube, things like that. So for me, I saw Web 3 as the new chance to create something which could be used all over the world. Um, as to what I do in Cubetopia, I'm the founder and the chief technical officer, I suppose. I do most of the technical development of it as well.
Exciting stuff. Now, can you share with us like an overview of what Cubetopia is, like your goals, your mission, the idea that you have for this one?
So basically, the first stage, what we're trying to achieve is we're trying to create a space completely hosted on the internet computer blockchain, where you can kind of create your own little world, and then you can invite people into it, and you can sort of hang out and have like a social experience in this sort of place that's yours, that you've made, and that you have ownership of. And then the sort of second phase of the project, once we do that, is we kind of want to create like a bit of like an adventure experience where people go out, you fight things, you earn rewards, you defeat monsters, things like that. That's kind of like the overall goal of the project.
How did it start? So, were you playing one day and then suddenly this idea came to you, or what inspired this basically for you?
So there are a few things that inspired it. Obviously, like I mentioned, like I always kind of wanted like that fresh start of Web 3. And I've been interested in games for like a very long time. I've been playing Minecraft, for a very long time now, since it came out, and basically I saw what I thought was a bit of a problem with other Web 3 games, like in other ecosystems. I thought it was kind of crazy that a lot of the data for the NFTs and for the game is not actually on the blockchain. So my friend Andres, who is a developer for the project Finterest, he introduced me to YCP, and he showed me Discover. When I saw Discover, I was like, oh, okay, that's something very cool. That's something that we haven't seen on any other blockchain. And that's kind of when I realized, right, here's the place where I can create a game that is going to kind of be the first of its kind in the respect of like, okay, the data is actually going to be on chain. We can actually have this like fully decentralized compared to what's possible elsewhere. And then why is it kind of like Minecraft? Why is it like blocks and things like that? For me, I just thought like it's more fun to kind of like create like your own space. Like you can create
Yeah. Mm.
your own like thing rather than like place down the stuff that I give you. It's like if you want to make something that I can't even imagine, you can go ahead and make it. I just thought it was a better tool.
I agree. I mean, aside from it being entertaining, it could also
Yeah,
be like a safe space for everyone and, just a creative outlet as
yeah.
well.
I think
Mm-hmm.
Watermelon,
Absolutely.
what Joey mentioned is also a good point. So if we have viewers right now who is new with the internet computer ecosystem, I suggest for them to watch the first episode where really I
Mm.
elaborated, I explained the power and capability of being 100% on chain and being able to really enjoy or benefit from the 100% decentralization
Mm.
versus the other platforms that are not actually.
Yeah, I think the first episode is perfect for that because we doubled down on, the
Yeah,
potential that they can expect or will be experiencing in ICP. And now here we
yeah.
have a great question from Cian. How is Cubetopia will differentiate itself from Minecraft aside from being in the Web3?
Yeah, so that's a really good question, because I think people see the game and they just think that we're like trying to be Minecraft, which isn't exactly
Mm-hmm.
true. We're going to be like completely different. Like um, the further into development we get, it will be clear that the team has like a very different vision to
A strong
Minecraft.
vision,
So
yeah.
it's at the moment kind of in the simple stage. It's like, oh, okay, well, it seems very similar to
Mm-hmm.
Minecraft, but like when we add more features in the game, we're not trying to copy Minecraft of what makes it good. We're just using
Mm-hmm.
cubes, and I think it'll be clear that we have something quite different in mind.
Mm-hmm. So,
Good question
yeah, it really is. I
and good
mean,
answer. Good answer as
usually
well.
we entertain the questions at the end, but when I saw it, I'm like, we have to ask
Mm.
this now. So that's a really good thing because we don't want like we already have Minecraft, so why would we do a copy paste version of it, right? So it's really nice to hear directly from you that you have a stronger vision for this, and you're basically going to create your own identity, and we'll see that in the coming years to come.
Yeah. Hey, Modern Milen,
Yeah,
I just want to add as well. Uh, it's linked on the question earlier,
Mhm.
with regards to decentralization, because recently, Joey, we had this Minecraft fiasco.
Oh
Basically,
yeah,
we're in,
banning of the
yeah, they banned the
NFTs.
NFTs. Yeah, an
Mm.
NFT world. So, how do you see the future on this? How can Cryptopia can capitalize on this? I think this is an opportunity.
yeah, definitely. I think that basically what that's shown is that you can't be reliant on these Web 2 services,
Mm.
which is kind of what a lot of other sort of Web 3 metaverse games are doing at the moment. Is maybe they're relying on these sort of centralized services. I mean, that's quite an extreme example where there were there were some big projects on Ethereum that were like building on top
Mm.
of Minecraft, and Minecraft as a platform was like integral to their project. And this is kind of shown that like you cannot bank on that. The
Yeah.
people who had these NFTs, who owned NFTs related to Minecraft, they've kind of had the value for that taken away. And I
Mm.
think this kind of shows like the problem that I was trying to solve when I started this project. When I found out about ICP, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Like we can have control of the game and of the data associated with it. Um, and this example is just complete kind of vindication of like, oh well, there is actually value
Yeah.
for that, because I think a lot of people just thought like, like nothing's ever going to happen. Like who cares? And it's like, well, maybe this is an important thing that we should be looking at.
Hmm. And speaking of NFTs, how do you plan on integrating it in the world that you are building? So aside from, of course, the avatars, what other NFTs can we expect in the game?
So there's a few ways that NFTs are basically going to be integrated into the game. So the first way is like pretty much any NFT from ICP, you can place it in the
Mhm.
game as like a painting for people to come and view. Um, and then on top of that, we have like kind of special integrations like we did with Versatile Studios, where if you
Mhm.
own they have like these boots, NFTs of these boots, and if you own that, you connect your wallet to the game. Your character puts on those boots, and everyone can see it. Um, as for Cubetopia NFT specifically, obviously we'll be releasing islands. I think a lot of people know that.
Oh yeah, that'd
Uh,
be fun.
yeah, and then we're planning other things. There's a lot of cool things that we could do. I don't want to say too much, but you can definitely expect other NFTs from us as well as the
Mhm.
islands.
And I think as the game grows, you can add more. You know what I mean? Like exciting things.
Yeah,
Maybe eventually have NFTs for events or some other things that you can
Yep.
also incorporate. So we have a couple of questions, other good questions here. This one is from Spitfire. Most play to earn games have a lot of players at first, but towards the end, players always decrease, and then um, the
Mm.
game also dies along with that. So how do you plan on preventing that and just keep building the community?
Yeah, so I think one of the reasons that that happens is because a lot of people playing these play to earn games are playing it purely for profit. So as
Mm,
soon as something's more profitable, they're going to go and play a different game. So
mm,
that can kind of be countered by making the game fun by itself, which has always been the priority. Is even play to earn
mm,
blockchain stuff aside, I just want to make a good game. Um, but then also, like, we're being very careful with our tokenomics. Like, people are asking for details of our tokenomics. We haven't given them out yet because we're consulting with experts to make sure that there is going to be longevity there.
mm.
We want to make sure that we get that right before we do that. So, of course, we're going to take care with that. We're going to make the game fun. And then also, there's going to be continually like new content added to the game. So
Mm.
there'll be a reason to come back to log into Cubetopia, even if you've not played it for a while. There might be a new update, some new stuff to come
Things to
on.
look forward to. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
That's really
That's a
great to
very
hear. I
good point,
mean,
Joey.
mhm.
Yeah, because Modern Mulan. I think what Joey mentioned is make the game fun first. I think is very critical. I think projects right now are really focusing on just on the play to earn
The earning aspect.
and
Yeah.
the earning aspect, and they just want basically to get to get their money. But
Mm.
making the game fun is very critical, and that will basically be the difference in the long run.
Yeah, and whenever we're talking about play to earn games, this question always pops up, like, if you're not able to earn from the game, will you still be playing it? And for most P2E, sadly, the answer is no. Like, honestly, majority of their players are just in it to earn. And I guess it's also that's not something that we should be condemning or we should be hating on, because it's just part of the growing pains, I think. And eventually we'll be able to transition into actually valuing a play to earn game. Like, the earning is just going to be a bonus, but you're in it, or you're more invested emotionally, so to speak. So that's a really good point of view. And
Yep.
it's so nice that you pointed it out. But we also can't deny that there are players who are there to play, but we won't be able to eliminate, and we don't want to eliminate players who are also there to earn. So what's in it for them? How about for those types of investors? What can they expect from Cubetopia?
So yeah, the game is, we definitely would like to make it so that people can make money by playing the game. So
Mm,
I'm aware, like you were saying earlier, play to earn is absolutely huge,
mm,
especially like kind of over in Asia and Southeast Asia. Like,
mm.
I'm aware of how kind of popular that is, and I definitely do
Yeah.
want to kind of harness that and appeal to that market because it's enormous.
Mm,
But as well as that, like as well as like the monetary side of play to earn, I also think that you can kind of have like NFTs and like special
mm.
unique rewards that you earn as well. I don't think it always has to be like play to earn has to be about like money like all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you can have this kind of reason to log on and play the game to earn something which might be valuable to you. Um, or maybe it's like a time limited thing. Things like that, I think, can kind of add
Mm.
value to it.
Agree, Joey.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
I
can
thought
hear
I
you.
lost you.
Sorry,
But
no.
yeah,
No,
it's
no, no.
also a really good point. I think it's just going to be about finding the balance wherein you get to satisfy both of the different types of players and investors' needs. But that's the hook, right? Making a
Mhm.
game that is enjoyable. So whether they started
Yeah.
that they just wanted to earn, but when they start playing the game and they like it, they enjoy it, eventually it won't matter anyway. Because the current games that we're playing, they don't really earn from them. Actually, it's the opposite. They spend money so
Mm.
that they
Yeah,
could have these advantages, and I think that will also eventually bleed through the games, the actually entertaining games that are going to be
yep.
created or that are being created now.
Well, one thing
That's
I'll
correct.
actually add that I didn't mention
Mhm.
was I think of games like World of Warcraft as
Mhm.
play to earn games. Like these are like the
Mhm.
original ones that were around. They didn't have tokens or anything like that. They didn't have
Mhm.
Web3, so to speak. But because the game was so fun and people wanted to gain an advantage of it, um, kind of play to earn was developed because maybe they
Mhm.
didn't have time to log in to level up their characters and things like that. And play to earn arised sort of like as a necessity because people wanted to play the game. And I think that
Mhm.
is like, that's probably how you could make something last a long time, I would think.
Mhm.
Agree.
So that's yeah, I agree. Those are very strong points. And a year into Play to Earn games, well, they started long ago, like you said. We before the crypto integration, we also kind of saw that a little bit in other games. But it's been a year since the meteoric rise of Play to Earn games. And in that year, there has been, a huge change in mindset as well for players. Like it's not for majority, it's not just about the money anymore, but they're looking to invest in actual projects with a long-term vision, which we're seeing and we're hearing from you right now. But can you give us like specifics, like just a little sneak peek of what we can expect from Cubetopia within, this year and the next, the immediate years to come?
Mm. So yeah, I mean the first sort of milestone that we're working on actively is we're doing the island sale, and we're
Mm,
getting all of the data associated with islands on chain. So we've deployed a few canisters on the IC already for that, and hopefully soon, as long as everything is all
yeah,
ready, because we want to
soon.
make it a nice, smooth experience for
Mm,
everybody, we'll be selling the islands. Then after that, I think is we'll be going further into sort of like more advanced like building tools and things like that, make the island
mm,
experience a little bit better before we
mm,
kind of start to introduce things like combat, fighting, defeating enemies, things like that. So I definitely think within a year we should have like some sort of gameplay where you can go in and you can like fight and things like that.
I love that you
Yeah,
mentioned
like
that because
story mode.
someone asked here, like, what can players do in game aside from building? So it's nice that you mentioned there's fighting and other elements that you guys are
Yeah,
going to incorporate.
Mm. Yeah, I would say,
that's a
yeah,
good
I
point.
think, yeah, I think the gameplay is going to be unique. I mean, I haven't seen uh, a real Web3 game that's quite like
Mm-hmm.
this. I mean, obviously, people were using Minecraft, which is quite similar, but it's yeah, not really a Web3 game, and definitely not anymore. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, there will be more to do in game besides kind of like the building and the social aspect. But
Mm-hmm.
that's yeah, it's coming a little bit later down the line.
I think you're some kind of I think you have like a third eye or a magic eye because every sentence that you answer are good transitions for the next questions. Because now you mentioned like what games they could play, and then somebody literally just asked that. So the next one is the social aspect of it. So does a game have like an
Mm,
all chat feature? How's the socialization within the universe or the
mm,
metaverse that you're creating?
mm. Yeah, so right now there's text chat for people who are like on the same island as you, and there will be voice chat as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really thought about adding like a global all chat, but I think that could
Mm-hmm.
be quite funny. So maybe I will do that. We'll see how
That'd
that
be fun.
goes.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be a complete
Yeah,
mess, but yeah, maybe we
It's
should
going to
do
be
that.
chaotic. I
Mm,
bet it's going to be chaotic. Like everyone
mm,
from across the
yeah,
globe just talking in their own languages. But it's going to be fun. It's all in good fun.
yeah.
And um, uh, let's think of like the existing games now that are very popular. Like here in the Philippines, Mobile Legends is king. And one thing that pushed it to its popularity, I think, is the voice chat while they're playing, while they're trash talking,
Mm,
which is expected in games, right? So I think it would also be a huge element, or like a good addition if you also have that in Cubetopia.
yeah, because I think it creates sort of like a sense of community as well. If you're
Mm-hmm.
playing, even if you can't see someone and you're talking to someone who's like doing something totally else, it's better than just being by yourself, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I used to play World of Warcraft, and I used to love sort of trolling in the chat.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mm. It adds like another layer of entertainment to it. So yeah, thank you
definitely.
so much for being so generous and answering all of our questions. And it's so exciting. We'll also have your links in the description box so that everyone who want to say hi to you, or just know more about your game, can be a part of your community. So again, Joey,
We'll have
thank you
Joey
so
come
much.
back.
Yeah,
Yes,
We'll
and
have
maybe we
Joey
can
come back
we can
definitely for
we can
updates.
actually play next time
that would be
and
good.
give them
We
like
can
the
hang out
demo,
in
right?
Cubetopia. Yeah, well,
Uh-huh.
actually,
Yeah.
I'm quite near to the Philippines right now, so maybe we have to get Andrew over and we can do one in real
That'd be
life.
fun. Yeah, that'd be really, really fun.
Yes,
And we'll look forward
exactly.
to that. I will hunt you down, Joey, if that doesn't happen in a year. I'll be
Andrew
like,
says sounds
remember?
great, so it's
Yeah.
on. Get the flights booked, Andrew.
365 days, Joey. 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do it.
Countdown
We'll make
starts
it happen
today. Yeah.
today.
So thank you so much, Joey. We really really appreciate it, and your answers are amazing. Thank you again, also to our viewers for sending so many great questions. We have so many more questions to ask you, but we'll leave those for part two, so that you have no choice but to come back on our show and talk more about Cubetopia.
All right, thank you so much for having me, guys. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you very much, Joey. Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you, Joey. Maraming salamat. Bye. Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you.
Salamat.